All right. Looks like I'm live. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're all doing well. Just trying to get caught up with these questions. All right. Well, I will be announcing my winners for my 8,000 subscriber giveaway in a little bit. Let's either like sometime in the middle or towards the end of the show. So if I forget, somebody please remind me. Um, but anyways, thank you all for being here. I'm sorry I wasn't on Tuesday. I feel like things have been a little bit out of balance for me the last couple weeks, and so I needed a bit of a break. You know, I've been going through a little bit of hard stuff emotionally. I mean, nothing too bad, but definitely doing this kind of work. I was a little upset on Monday and Tuesday, so I needed a day off. So, um, probably in the next couple weeks to months, my niece is going to be going back to her mom, which was kind of unexpected. Um, so I was a little upset with that, and you know, uh, just things like I don't know. It's been a bit of a whirlwind experience the last couple weeks. So I am feeling much better today, though. Thank you, Karen. Um, so, but anyway, I will be doing the giveaway in a little bit. Please, if you could do me a favor before we get started, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's help get me to 9,000 here soon. We'll do another giveaway. Um, of course, continued prayers and healing for Mel. Um, I haven't talked to him in a couple days. I talked to him on Tuesday. He was being released from the hospital and going home to recover. Um, we were talking about maybe possibly doing a show tonight. I haven't talked any more to him, but I kind of feel like he should rest, and hopefully next week he feels up to it. And I'll have him on next week. So we'll just take it at Mel's pace, but we could continue to send love and healing to him. Send a lot of prayers for everybody dealing with all the extreme weather and flooding and heat. Um, and and also, if you could all do me a favor and just send out happy birthday wishes to my husband Dan. His birthday's on Saturday, so I think that's all I wanted to cover really ahead of time. So I'll be doing political and current event questions today. So go ahead and write them in the chat if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Really appreciate it. All right. So just a couple things. I haven't been watching the news a whole lot, so hopefully I'm not super behind. But I have predicted that I saw Sweden joining NATO, and we can see that there's going to be a deal be taking place with that shortly. Um, and then also um, the drugs at the White House. I think the Secret Service was saying that they were ending their investigation. They didn't really have any leads with that. I kind of felt like I didn't see a long-term investigation when I read on it last. I do kind of feel like it was, somebody put it there to damage the administration and, like Hunter. So it's a Republican talking point. But I didn't feel like charges or anybody being identified with that. And I heard on the news that they were closing that investigation. So, all right. You're all so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, I hadn't heard of bad weather in Chicago. I know it's so hot down in the south and in the west, and then all of the flooding in the New England states. I told you guys that, the Earth activity. Oh, new grandma, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sending a lot of prayers and healing um, for your grandbaby. I'm so sorry. And prayers for your daughter, too. All right. I'm just getting caught up with the chat, you guys. I'll be into questions in a minute. Although, I enjoy hanging out with you all. So, all right. Hi, Suzanne. All right. So, Christopher Davis. So somebody in the chat tell me, because I haven't voted yet, and hopefully I haven't missed voting. I haven't heard a whole lot about when the election was. But Christopher Davis says that I early voted against issue 1 here in Ohio. There was a 20-minute wait due to heavier than expected turnout. Will this issue help turn the election results for Ohio in 2024 blue? I feel like it's going to help. I've said I feel pretty good about Sherrod Brown. He's running for Senate reelection in 2024. I feel like it's still just, I think it kind of brings it in closer. I think Ohio is still going to lean very narrowly red in 2024, unfortunately, Christopher. But yeah, somebody please let me know if I missed if I missed the voting, because I need to vote for that. Hopefully you voted today and it was early voting, but that's awesome news that it's um, a heavy turnout. I did say I felt like the issue 1 was going to fail. I have to kind of research it a little bit more how they worded it, but I did not feel like the 60% to change Constitution was going to pass. And I think we all know why the Republicans in Ohio want to do that, so that they can, restrict abortion access and ban it. So, and I think a lot of people are going to see that. So that's why I'm saying I see it kind of going a little bit more towards the middle. I don't feel like that is going to pass. And like I said, it feels like Ohio's still just narrowly leaning Republican in 2024, but I feel pretty good about Sherrod Brown's chance. Okay. Thank you so much, Aries Wonder. I thought it was in August, so I was freaking out thinking I didn't have time, but okay, so early voting just began. Perfect. Thank you so much. That's awesome. You know that it's normally good news for Democrats when the early voting turnout is up. Yeah, we'll read on the elections when we get closer, but I do feel like Sherrod Brown's going to get reelected. I think it's going to be close. Like I said, I feel like Ohio is just going to narrowly go a little bit more Republican, but it's not going to be like 7 or 8 points like it was the last couple of elections. I feel like it's 1 or 2. I've read on this before, Valeria. Will Sergey I can't pronounce that, sorry. Moscow mayor be interim president for Russia? I didn't see that. I wasn't feeling a whole lot of energy around that. I could be wrong. I'm not really super familiar with who that is, but I'm feeling no. Oh, well, I told you all along, Sunny Valeria says there's secret services they can't identify who brought in the cocaine, which I said Republicans are not accepting that. Your thoughts? I think it plays very well into the Republican narrative not to support that and to say that, to blame Hunter, the president's son, and use it as a talking point, like he's protecting his son. I have not heard any Republicans actually use Hunter's name in regards to this, but I'm sure it's going to happen soon. So, hi Taro, your way. I don't see anything coming from it, though. I said that before. All right. So, and yes, I heard that the FDA has approved the over-the-counter birth control pill. Will the right have a cow and try to block it? I think that that's very safe to say, Sacred Hag. I do feel like they will try to block it. I'm just going to throw a card or two on it. I'm trying my best to say the question. Sometimes I get caught up in the energy and I forget. I know some of the viewers like don't watch, but they're listening. So I have to get better with announcing the question. So if I forget, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Yeah, it's a good point, Sharon. She says in regards to the drugs in the White House, it's all to deflect from Trump and his indictments. I have said that to artists. For entertainment purposes only, I felt like it was Secret Service that planted the bet. I said that, I think, last week or the week before. That's what was coming through for me as well. Yeah, I agree, Tristras. Hunter was not even in the West Wing, right? No, my husband hasn't been on the show. My husband, I think he finds metaphysics and readings all really interesting, but um, he's a little shy. Maybe one day we'll get him on. All right. I forgot what the question was. The abortion, the birth control pill. Will Republicans try to go after that? Yeah, I get an absolute yes. They're already making deals and talking about how they can stop it. Um, they want to hang on to their power and control, but I don't see it being um, very good for them. This is getting defeated, so I feel like they may try. It may be a situation where, um, there's lawsuits over certain states that try to ban it, but they're going to try absolutely. Right. I'm not feeling energy behind. I don't think it was Hunter's. I think it was placed there, but we know that Republicans are going to try. They don't make a whole lot of sense. All right. Anything to deflect and distract. Fleck asks, will Biden be a key player in the treaty between Ukraine and Russia? I'm feeling yes and no. I don't think that it will be Biden or the U.S. actually, like mediating the treaty, if that makes sense. I feel like there may be some people in the U.S., but it feels like Biden pushes and what he's pushing for ends up being successful, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's communication between Biden or the U.S. and Ukraine. I don't think that it will actually be Biden there, like mediating the treaty, if that makes sense. And thank you so much for the question. Joanne says, will Biden succeed in easing tensions with China? I feel like things are tense with China for a little bit. I'm sorry to say. I don't think anything crazy, but I see that there's some works, and then there's kind of like, we have like another spy balloon incident or something that really kind of takes the two apart. And I don't think that China is really receptive to easing the tensions right now, which makes it a little hard. I think eventually, yes, but I don't know if it will be before 2024. All right. And you're also awesome. I always look forward to our time together. Even when I'm not feeling my best, it's always just very uplifting. So thank you all for all the support and love. Yeah, Faye, I feel like there will be NATO will have hands in negotiations. Correct. I don't think it's specifically Biden, but our agenda of what NATO and the U.S. is looking for, you know, those ideas are going to be part of that. Tammy Joy, when will you do private readings again? Oh, I do private readings and Reiki sessions. You can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. And we can set something up when, you know, or if you want to just inquire for right now until, the finances get in order. But yep, I've never stopped doing private readings. All right. Karen says inflation came to in June to pre-pandemic levels. Unemployment is at um, historic lows. When will we see Biden getting more favorable in the ratings? I don't know. I don't know what they've said about inflation. I still feel like it's a little high and people view it as high. I have said I kind of feel, and I think I said earlier this year, like the summer, I kind of feel like things are coming down, and then even in the fall times, things feel better. For me, I feel like more support around Biden in 2024. I do think that people still have their concerns, especially, and I'm not saying that I feel this way. I'm just saying voters in general with the age. Um, Although I don't feel like that's a valid argument because if you're a Trump supporter, I think Biden's a year older than Trump. But I do feel like the favorables come up a little bit more more next year, and I don't know if it's. I think I've said the Republican Party is going to kind of implode, and there's going to be a lot of bad news. So I don't know if it's necessarily people being super favorable towards Biden. I think people are just kind of really sick of all of the drama and chaos coming from the Republican Party, if that makes sense. And I wouldn't trust polls fully anyway. I don't think that they're very accurate. So that is my input on that. All right. No, Fleck. She says there's a general in Pacific that is saying we will be at war with China in 2 years. Can you see a war? I don't see a war with China. No. Like I said, I feel like things are a little tense. Tensions, are somewhat high, not crazy high, but I don't see it coming to war in the next 2 years. No. I feel like at some point there may be issues with Taiwan and China where the U.S. gets involved, but it doesn't feel like it's a full-out war with China or a world war. I'm not picking that up. Right, Jody. I don't even think Trump is 4 years younger than Biden. I think he's only a year or two younger. But that is the perception a lot of people have. And you know what? I can understand it to a degree. Obviously, Biden's going to be the Democratic nominee. I will vote for anybody over the Republicans, but I do kind of wish that we had a younger, more progressive Democratic Party, and I see that coming in the next few years. Yeah, we'll look at Tuberville in a minute. I don't feel like he's going to be able to block those military appointments for too long. Yes, Gloria. Will Trump be indicted again soon by Fani? Yes. I feel like that's next month, maybe September. I feel it could be like the end of August. I've said I feel more indictments coming from Jack Smith with documents related, and then it feels like maybe in October indictments with January 6th start dropping. I feel a lot of movement with January 6th starting in the fall, and I feel like that is kind of a wave of indictments throughout 2024. Um, so things aren't slowing down. There's indictments coming again very soon. Yeah, sweetie darling Lulu says sadly until food and gas prices go down. Yeah, and like I said, that's what I'm saying. The I don't think that that's the perception. I think people think that inflation's really high. I know when I go grocery shopping, if I go to Giant Eagle, which I don't hardly ever go anymore because they're so crazy expensive, I can get like five or six things and I'm spending $50, $60. It's a bit ridiculous. Um, it's kind of going on everywhere. A lot of that is price gouging. Um, but I don't think that the perception that inflation is before the pandemic is what most people think. Maybe in other ways. Oh, thank you, Eve. All right. I'm trying to keep up with the chat to answer all the questions quickly, everyone. Ugh, it's hard juggling all this, so I'm sorry if there's a bit of a delay. All right. Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you haven't ever, everyone. At the end of the show, I'll be announcing my winners. So, no, I don't see the U.S. leaving NATO. Yelling man. I don't see that at all. Thank you so much for the super sticker, artist. Really appreciate it. And Rondaroo, thank you so much. All right. I'm finally caught up. Sorry. Okay. Oh, yes. Another lawsuit against Fox. I told you guys when the Dominion stuff was happening, I felt like multiple lawsuits. I know that they had another one in the works, but I feel like there's a shift at Fox because they keep losing so much money. Yeah, that's a good point, Betty. She says we should be grateful that we have food on our shelves. Many places don't. Absolutely. I feel like grocery prices and more so, I do feel like gas prices are kind of back and forth, a bit volatile with that. But like I said, I do feel like they are going to slowly kind of come down and adjust. I don't know if they'll be before the pandemic levels, but they'll be a lot better than what they're at now. And I feel like that's happening now and into the fall. Will there be adults in the House of Representatives in 2024? There'll be some. There'll be some cray cray still in there, but as Linda would say, cray crays. All right, Ray Epps. Will he win his defamation lawsuit against Fox? I just heard yes. I'm not super familiar with what the lawsuit entails. Like I said, I haven't been watching the news a whole lot lately. Ray Epps. Celebration. Good news. I get absolutely. And he's going to get a lot of money. This is sitting very pretty, enjoying the finer things in life, abundance. Yes, the world. It's a yes card. It's a closing of a chapter and beginning of something new. It is going to take some time, I think. They're still kind of in the planning stages. But I get celebration and good news with this Knight of Cups. So I feel yes. Could be like, I don't know, like number two is coming in strongly. So it could be a long investigation, maybe 2 years. But yes, eventually I do see him winning. All right. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Lorraine. If I missed anybody, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right. Karen says, second half of my question. I don't know if I got to your first half or if I missed it, but she says, once the Ukraine war is over, will NATO nations fund the rebuilding of Ukraine? Oh, Linda said Mel's in pain. I'll have to text or call him later. Thank you, Karen. Um, yes, absolutely. I feel like once this is over, I feel like massive investments in Ukraine and helping with the rebuilding. I do think it's going to take quite a while. You know, it could take like 5 to 10 years. It feels like it may be like about a decade before, you know, everything is kind of like all restored. But absolutely, I really feel like I've said it before. I feel like the world and NATO really coming to Ukraine's assistance and helping to rebuild. All right. All right. So Laura says, will the White House step up cameras after the Coke problem? I do feel yes. I feel like the security is pretty good as it is, but I do feel like there is more money coming into the security. I don't think it's like it's like a massive need. Like I said, I think whoever planted it, I think is was kind of aware with how the cameras were set up. I kind of felt like Secret Service or somebody along the lines of that, some kind of staff were doing it. All right. Almost 400 people watching. I think since we have so many people watching, I'm going to announce my winners for the giveaway, and then we can get back to some questions. So first off, I want to thank everybody um, that supported me and helped me get to 8,000 subscribers. We're a little over that now, so I appreciate that so much. Um, every 1,000 subscribers, I give a free reading, free 30-minute reading, and a free Reiki session in a giveaway. I pulled the winners just before I went live. I did comment on the winners' comments, so if you got like a reply, it's not spam or anybody. It was from me. I'm telling you how to reach me. But the winner for a free 30-minute reading was Lisa Murray. If you're here, congratulations. And the winner for a free 45-minute Reiki session was Paula O. Again, congratulations. Um, if you're a winner, you can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. I have that info in the description box, and we'll get something set up for you probably in the next week or two. So congrats to Lisa Murray and Paula O. Like I said, I did comment on, I replied to your comment and said that you were the winner. So if either of you are here, congratulations. If not, I'll make an announcement again at the end of the show. But say hi if you did win and you're in the chat watching. All right. But I really appreciate all the support, you guys. Yes. Will Ukraine join NATO? And if so, when? Yes, I do feel so. I don't think it's going to happen while there's a war between Ukraine and Russia. I said from the very beginning that would not be a good idea, even though it's very sad for what's going on in Ukraine. But it would lead to a nuclear World War III kind of situation if we did that. So that is why Ukraine has not been fast paced to join NATO. I feel like it could be a couple of years. Like I'm feeling like 2 or 3. I don't think it's months. So I said I feel like there is kind of a slowing down with the fighting. I do feel like there's going to be some skirmishes between the territory, um, is it the Donbass region and other regions, but I think it's going to take a couple of years for Ukraine to get all of their territory back, including Crimea. And when that happens, I feel like Ukraine will join NATO. I know that feels like it's a while out there still, but that's what I'm getting. Oh, Paula O is here. Congratulations. Send me an email. We'll get you set up for your Reiki session. I think that's only happened one other time I've done a giveaway where the person was watching live. So, all right. But I have a feeling that, oh, she says I so need a healing. I always ask my guides and the universe to, put me in the path of whoever needs the reading or the healing the most, and kind of just leave it up to the universe. And so I'm really happy that you were the winner. All right. Not to say that other people don't need it or more people, but it's always I don't know, it's always so good to help other people when they need guidance or healing, and I always just love giving back to this wonderful supportive community. So, but I have a feeling we'll get to 9,000 here soon, and we'll do another giveaway. So I don't think it's too far off. Hopefully, we can get to 10K before the end of the year. That's my big goal. So, Anne says Ukraine will not join NATO until approximately 5 years. I'm feeling 2 to 3. That's just me. I feel like it's a couple years off still. I could be wrong with that, Ian. All right. Let's see. Andrea says, Kevin, will there be any floods in St. Louis or tornado or any significant weather? I'm feeling more water than anything, Andrea, in that area. I do feel like there's going to be flooding. I do think that there's going to be a lot of wind as well, but so maybe even tornadoes in that area. But I'm seeing a lot of water, unfortunately. Is St. Louis right on the Mississippi or Missouri River? Because I do feel like there's some flooding there. All right. Yeah, they do have a lot of hurdles. I agree with that, Ian. Timing's not always the easiest, so I could be wrong, but I feel like it's quite a few years. All right. Let's see. Marsha Blackburn, will she be reelected in 2024 for senator in Tennessee? I do kind of feel like she will be reelected. Serenity. I'll throw a couple cards. Hey, Mark. Oh, Jamie, I'm so sorry. Her border collie passed away last night. Sending you a lot of love and healing, my friend. It's always so hard. Even our fur babies are like our children. So, sending you a lot of love, you and your family. Yeah, I know she's horrible, Earth Mama. I feel like Tennessee's still pretty red, though. I'll throw a couple cards on it, but I do kind of feel like, yes, I do feel like Marsha Blackburn will win re-election. Yeah, I do get that she'll be victorious. I think it's going to be closer margins though than what you'd like because you have the justice card here, which is kind of coming to balance. So I think it may be a little bit closer than what you'd like, but I do get that she'll be victorious. She does have some scandals, and she is defending herself a lot more than what she would like to. But ultimately, I do think that she'll win. For a lot of the re-election stuff in 2024, when we actually know who's going to be on the ticket, it's a little bit easier to focus in on it. Thank you for sharing, Sharon Site. All right. Yeah, I know it's frustrating, you guys. I wish I got a no. I wish I was in control of who was going to win or lose, but I got to just say it how I feel. Oh yeah, sweetie darling Lulu, will people finally believe in climate change? Yeah, I think people are. Um, Unfortunately, with all the Earth activity and all the storms and all the devastation, a lot of us have been talking about climate change for years, but those that have denied it, I think it's starting to get to a point where you really can't reasonably deny um, climate change. And I do feel like within the next decade, there's a whole bunch of money and resources really going into um, more green technology and trying to find balance with everything. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of momentum with people kind of being awakened to um, the climate change. Absolutely. No, I don't think Florida will flip. I think it's going to stay red for the next election, Evelyn. I do see Florida. Maybe it's the next election after that, 2026. Um, it feels like it's more in the center where there's blue coming in. I don't like to get so much into, um, cheating. I'm not really allowed to say a whole lot on YouTube about the elections and what goes on with it. I'll just say my guides had been giving warnings for the last couple years that Texas and Florida were on my radars for that. So, I mean, other states too, but really bad in those areas. But I do feel much better about Texas in 2024. Uh, Feels a little fishy to me. Not as bad, but mm, all right. Let's see, guys. Okay, says who will indict first, Georgia or Jack? I think Georgia before January 6th was Jack. It does kind of feel like Jack Smith and Fani, um, there are indictments around the same time. I feel like next month in September. Let's ask the pendulum real quick. Oh, we can look at the UPS. Yeah, I feel trouble with DeSantis, but legal issues, I feel like they're a couple years out still. I kind of feel like with Florida, I'm not sure when DeSantis would be up for reelection. Um, I think it's 5 or 4 years, so I think he just won reelection. But I feel like he's in there for a little while. All right. Will Fani Willis indict Trump before Jack Smith January 6th? I'm getting a yes for that. Are the next indictments coming for Donald Trump from Fani Willis? I'm getting yes. I think Fani's in Georgia's the next indictments. I think they're coming next month. Yeah, it's really interesting. Karen says that. She says the grand jury in D.C. is possibly voting on some charges now. Maybe not January 6th stuff, but other charges are real soon. I agree. I said I feel like there's more charges coming from the documents for Trump. Yeah, you guys. I'm sorry to say. I feel like it's a bit tough for the next couple years in Florida. All right. Julian says, well, immigrants leaving Florida because of DeSantis anti-immigration laws hurt Florida. Absolutely. I just said, I just said I feel like it's going to be a tough time in Florida between, um, all the craziness with DeSantis and the Republican Party. Um, I do feel like some more hurricanes and flooding. It just feels like Florida's a bit of a mess for the next couple of years. I'm sorry to say. But I did hear yes. I feel like immigrants leaving absolutely will hurt Florida. All right. Let me get caught up in the chat real quick. Yeah, I agree. Women are mad. I'm mad. I'm not a DeSantis fan by any means, but I'm just saying I feel like it's a bit tough in Florida for the next couple years. I feel like it's a little while before he gets in. I do feel like there's scandal coming DeSantis's way, but you know, legal issues. I don't know if I feel like jail for DeSantis. It feels like just a lot of shame and scandal. That's kind of the ending of his career. I don't think he'll be successful with. I don't see him getting the Republican nominee in 2024. I get a strong no with that, but I do feel like there's another run in the future. Maybe it's 2028 with him for president. I definitely feel like there's a possibility he'll try to run again. All right. Yeah, I have. We'll look at the UPS going on strike. I'm just trying to get through these questions in order. All right. Yeah, I did hear that actors were talking about joining the writers' strike. Yeah. All right. So, Tommy Tuberville blockage of military promotions. How will that work out? I I see it going on for a couple more months, unfortunately, but I do feel like I'm not really sure of how they would go about it. I'm not sure of like the rules, but I do feel like he has to stop or they go above him to get the military promotions put in place. I don't think DeSantis can run for re-election. Isn't this his second term as governor? I could be wrong. I'm not sure of Florida's laws, but I see him out when his term's up. Maybe a little bit before, but yeah, Sharon, I don't feel like there's an indictment coming for Tupperville, unfortunately. He's not one of the ones on my radar for January 6th. I get that he's defeated. I don't know how they would change the rule. Like I said, I don't understand how one senator can block the military promotions from working out. But I get that he's defeated. There's lots here. There's a lot of challenges and stress coming his way. Could be within 2 months. They're working on it now on a plan on how to stop things. But it's like things go to the past where there's not this hurdle. Could maybe even McConnell coming in or Schumer being able to block him somehow. One of those two, or getting him to change his mind on it. I'm not sure. I feel like the rules were kind of changed around it. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure how he's able to block it. Yeah, and so if DeSantis had been um, Native American, his name would have been Pudding Three Fingers. I absolutely feel like Trump is going to destroy DeSantis. He's got other scandals coming up. I do feel like trouble and investigations into, the shipping of the migrants and um, funding was misappropriated. But I feel like that all kind of takes time. Oh, Evelyn says Biden is going to put an acting commander and national security. Would he be in charge of the military promotions then, Evelyn? Because I do feel like he's Tuberville is stopped somehow. Yeah, I do feel like there's some fights against DeSantis's crazy laws and him being stopped with some things. I just I feel like it's a bit tough in Florida. I know I keep saying that, but he's got trouble with Disney. Patty says last year I predicted COVID would be better by spring 2023, and you were right. Yeah, I definitely felt. I mean, it's still around, and I know some people that are still getting it, but it's definitely died down. And for most people, if they get it now, it's a little bit more milder, um, and the treatment's a lot better for it. So, was it 4-year terms, Sonny? I'm sorry. All right. Cicero, will VP Kamala Harris serve 2 terms as president? I don't think so. I think only one. I think only 1 term for Kamala. I feel like she may not even run because I've said I do feel like Kamala will take over for Joe Biden eventually. I don't see like any like I don't see like him passing. I feel like he's a bit sick and tired, and Kamala ends up taking over after. It could be before, but I feel like the energy feels more like it's after 2024 when he wins re-election. Maybe like a year into a second term, Kamala takes over for like 3 years. But I see it questioning. It doesn't feel like it's a definite no, she won't serve 2 terms, but I'm feeling more towards like she'll only serve a single term. All right. I hadn't heard of her, but Bad Kitty says, why did Democrat my Misha Maynor become a Republican after she won the election in Georgia? Well, I do feel like there were some people that were not really Democrats that were running as Democrats that got in. And I do feel like some of them were paid to change their vote and kind of to go to the Republican Party afterwards. I do feel like at some point, though, I'm not sure when, it feels like it's maybe a couple years off. I do feel like um, if somebody wants to change their party, they have to have another election or they're not able to until the next term. So, have a great day, Rhonda. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I do feel like some strong hurricanes this year, Evelyn. Yeah, I agree, Bobby. It was planted. All right. Yeah, I'm not really sure who she is. I hadn't heard of her, but I do feel like there were some Republican plants running as Democrats that were paid. Like that one I think in was it North Carolina senator or representative, that woman that changed. There was something definitely fishiness there. Oh, I definitely feel. Nicole says, "What does Jim Jordan's future look like?" I feel like I don't know if he goes to jail, but I feel like he has to be out, and I definitely see a lot of investigations into him in the January 6th. I kind of feel like he may go to jail, but I'm not like getting 100% with that. But it doesn't. He doesn't have a good future. He's got a lot of stress. All right, you guys. I'm only gonna be able to do a couple more questions. I gotta get going after that, but Jenny says, "Do you see Jack ask Carolyn Kennedy's son become president one day?" I don't know who this is, but I'm feeling a no. I think he may run though. Is he still kind of young? Is he like in his 30s or 40s? It feels like he's still a little young. It feels like a run would come maybe in a decade or two, but I don't feel energy about becoming president right now anyway. I'm not saying that there was an involvement there, Angela, with Tupperville. She says he spoke to Rudy during the insurrection. I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just saying I don't feel he'll be indicted or jailed because of it. Yeah, maybe that's why it's not coming in clear. Anne says Jordan will have two choices: resign or go to jail. I do feel energy around going to jail, though. All right. Let's see. I've read on Ted Cruz. I do feel if he decides to run for re-election in 24, I feel like he's going to lose. I've said that before, but I also feel like he lost in the past too. So, like I said, I do feel like Texas feels a little bit better in 2024. Um, like I said in the past, I feel like it's been more purple than what the voting results have actually been. But yeah, I feel Ted Cruz leaving the Senate. Patty says, if you're doing well, do you see a hurricane hitting New York City again? I think at some point, I do feel maybe more into the fall this year or later on in the year, I do feel another kind of hurricane kind of hitting up. I don't think it's New York City is really affected. Um, wasn't there a hurricane that hit like New Jersey and like that? Because I feel like energy around something like similar up in like the northeast. It feels more towards the end of the year though, but I do feel like some flooding with that. It doesn't feel like a major hurricane hitting New York City again though. Oh, I do think that I don't know if it's generals paying off Tupperville, but I do feel like there is money to obstruct that. Absolutely. Yeah, and he's getting a lot of slack because of his comment saying that white nationalists are not racist. Yeah, I feel Scandal and like getting a bit. He's a bit humiliated from that. Um, but I think we all know. I mean, he's pretty MAGA and white nationalist himself. So he's not going to go out and attack them and attack his base that he's really a big part of. So I do see scrutiny over that. But yeah, I do feel like there's some dirty transactions there. Okay, we'll end on the UPS going on strike. I think I heard about it, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it. So let's see. I do feel like there will be a short strike, is what I'm getting. It doesn't feel like it's super long, but I do feel like some drama around that. When are they supposed to be going on strike? Do you know? Anybody in the chat? Like I said, I've heard of it, but I do feel like there's a short strike. It may take a week or two, maybe 3. I'll just say it's kind of coming through, and I've said it before. I know with all of the earth changes and all of the storms and earth activity that it's really scary for everyone. But I think it's so important not to get into the fear. Just make sure that you're prepared. If there is evacuation orders, make sure to take them seriously. Make sure that you have supplies and food for a couple of weeks if anything were to happen. It can be scary, and I get that, but I think the most important thing and the reason why my guides share the information is so that we can be prepared for it, because it's not slowing down anytime soon. It's just going to continue to feel bigger and bigger and crazier. So it's important not to get into the fear, but just being prepared and taking evacuation orders seriously if they say that. So somebody said August 1st. Okay. I feel like with the UPS, I feel like there's a quick agreement put in place, but I do feel a strike for maybe a week or 2. Yeah, but it's important not to sit in the fear, because you're just attracting more things to be fearful for. I definitely believe that we can shift things if we sit in that higher loving vibration. And as scary as some of the stuff going on is, I think that it's really important because it is bringing communities together where we've been so divided the last few years too. All right, UPS, will they go on a strike? I do feel like there's a bit of feeling a little bit stuck. There's a lot of ideas here shared, and then it's kind of stuck on coming to a solution. And like I said, I feel like it may be about 2 weeks they make one strike. But things are very shortly lived, where things are kind of turbulent, and then we're moving into calmer waters. There's a lot of energy and momentum behind getting this resolved. People are really fed up, the strikers, and walking away from the things that aren't serving them and fighting for, like higher pay and, that kind of stuff. And I feel like they're going to be successful. They have money coming in, resources, and there's a deal struck with the emperor. So like I said, it feels like it's kind of short-lived, a little tense, and there's some tension, but I feel like maybe about 2 weeks it'll be resolved. All right. Oh, over 463 is what I'm getting. Thank you all so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Please subscribe. All right. So I'm going to end there. All right, everyone. Well, again, congratulations to Paula. I know that you saw that you were a winner for the free Reiki session. Lisa Murray, you were the winner for a free 30-minute reading. So send me an email. My contact information's in the description box of the video. If anybody's interested in a Reiki session or a reading, you can send me an email. We can talk and get something set up for you if you're interested. Again, continued prayers for Mel, for everybody that's dealing with all this intense heat in the south, in the west, all the flooding in the New England states. A lot of love and prayers and protection for all of them. Next Tuesday, for my show, I believe Lori from The Way of Positive Change is going to be joining me, so I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm on Terry Runner's channel on Monday. Like I said, I'm going to contact Mel, and I'm not thinking the show tonight. I think he should rest, but maybe if he's feeling up to it next week, we'll have him on. And I have to reach out to Kevin Lewis, and hopefully we can get something scheduled to do personals again. And I think that's it for today, everyone. Sending you all a lot of love, and I'll see you all real soon. Take care, everyone.